All right, this is going to be a fun video here, so thank you for coming back to the channel here today. Lots of stuff to get into, sort of crickets out there in terms of the feedback. VIPKID did not comment about the elephant in the room about feedback, but I want to talk about just a frenzy idea that I'm considering. As well, just show you my results for the last few frenzies anyways, and just so that you can see. So I want to get into that also, and get into a few different interesting things here today. Just detecting a fib, and I'm by no means perfect. I've told my share of fibs. I'm trying to work on that and repenting, changing of mind with that, but I want to share with you just things that I've observed when I worked at a bank and just detecting fibs from people seeking money. So let's get right into it. Number one, just the art of persuasion, and on the same type of line here as that. With persuasion, and more so, I want you to be observant of this being performed on you rather than you performing this on others. But basically with this, one thing that I've noticed anyways, performed on me in a variety of different ways, but on persuasion, the art of subtlety and making it their idea. Or making it your idea. You're more likely to come along with me if it's your idea. And what I mean by this, let me give you an example. So let's say you're the mayor of the city and you want people to be more active, to start biking and walking to work. Well, you could go out and say, hey, you start biking and walking to work, people. Will that be very effective? No, probably not. But what if you start putting road work all over the city and make it a living nightmare for people to get to work? Well, what result will that have? People will think, hey, maybe I should start biking or walking to work. So just something to be observant of anyways on someone making it your idea to get you to buy into it. Number two, another change of topic here, teaching tips. So one, I really like this. I really like what I've been doing recently. If a kid does well on a slide, I love putting a big check mark on the slide. It doesn't have to be the assessment, just a way to confirm and encourage them. Another way to encourage, a big red or green or whatever check mark on the screen to show you are happy with what they are doing. And the second part of this, another tip, is just on our communication as a whole. We know that stats say 93% of communication is nonverbal. And just think about it in the VIPKID classroom. We're teaching someone in a different country over the internet that their native tongue is not English. So I bet you it's more than 93% in that setting. And I still just keep banging the table on standing up while you teach if you can. I know not everyone can, but that does help your body language. It helps potentially your facial reactions. It helps potentially your tone of voice, possibly. So again, I just keep hitting that, beating a dead horse with that part, but I really feel strongly about that point there. Okay, on to just detecting a fib. As you know, I worked at a bank, a couple of different banks in my past terms of employment, and just things that I've observed from people who were telling fibs, and I would bust them on it down the road for whatever, down the road to know that they were then telling me that fib at that time. Three things that I've observed from people that are telling fibs, and I've done this myself, so I'm not condemning them. I'm just as guilty probably as they are, maybe even more so. Number one, they answer questions you did not ask. That's a common thing I would see. So an example, I would ask them, what do you do for a living? What do you work at? They would tell me what they work at, and then they would tell me why they were not at work right now. Well, I didn't ask you that. I just asked you, what did you do for a living? So that's just an example. And again, there are other examples, but that's an example of just someone asking or answering a question I did not ask. Just would be odd. Now, not all those would be lies, but sometimes I would find that would be a lie in that case. That's an example. Number two, I would see people would often overcompensate. So what I mean by that is that they would do something that just seemed odd. So for example, someone's coming in looking for money and they would make a point to get into their wallet and show me a bunch of hundreds and fifties. Well, first of all, who carries 50s and hundreds in their wallet? And secondly, if you're looking for money, how do you have 50s and 100s in your wallet? So just something trying to overcompensate to make it look like they had money, or I had one person would really make it a point to flash a big ring she had on her finger. Now this had nothing to do with marriage or flirting or anything like that. She just wanted me to see that she had money. And I found out later that there was a lot of lies and holes in her story that she was telling me about a bunch of other things. So that could have been fake. I don't know. But anyways, just overcompensating, that seems awkward. That's something else I would observe. And 3, not liking dead air. So I would see people that would just be fidgety. So they would tell me something and there couldn't be 2 seconds of dead air. They would have to fill it with just sentences or words or whatever. It just seemed awkward. That's something because they were probably anxious and uptight that I would bust them on, so they would try and just fill it with dead air or fill it with words or whatever. That's just something else I've observed. So just something to keep in mind, totally separate from VIPKID, but anyways, something to consider what I've done on people as well as what's been done on me also. Thank you for coming back to the channel. I do appreciate when you like the video and bang on the subscribe button. I do videos every few days. Get some information, bring it back here to give to you. I do appreciate subscribers. Thank you very much. You make my day when you bang on that subscribe button. Okay, on to the frenzy idea, this part here. And I wanted to show you my past frenzies anyways on where I'm at. So as you can see, this is the week I called the bookings bottom. So 44 bookings. That's hopefully the bottom, at least for me personally, and hopefully that's been the bottom for you also. That was the Dragon Boat Festival, the week of June 22nd. Now, things haven't improved very much since then, but hopefully that was the bottom. Now, I may go back down next week, who knows, but I hope that that was the bottom. I've been hanging right around 50 bookings, thereabouts. Maybe your schedule, you're seeing a trend as well, or maybe things are picking up a little bit. Hopefully things just keep moving in that direction there. I hope that the bottom was in there back a couple weeks ago. Now, an idea for you to consider. I have not done this yet, but I'm considering this. As you know, I don't open up my schedule until noon Beijing time. Okay, so that's midnight for those people in the Eastern time zone. So a strategy that I'm thinking of doing is opening up my off-peak time. So everything outside of the 3 hours that are in the peak or peak time period. So opening up my schedule for everything but those 3 hours that are there during, let's say, before I go to bed on that Sunday night. So having it so I can get automated bookings and my existing students can then fill that part of my schedule. This might be an idea to use because those ones I don't mind getting cancellations as much because they don't tend to fill as much, and I still leave the 3 hours of peak and peak time periods for the new students, which tend to get filled more often. So that's a strategy. Let me know in the comments if that's something that you think may work. There's pros and cons to it. I know with that part, leave those in the comments. And just what you're seeing with bookings. Right now, my 5 Apple percentage is 2.4% in the month of July. We're at rock bottom here, hopefully. Things have been a tough old grind. Anyways, let me know with what you're seeing on your side. You're in the same boat. If you're struggling with feedback, we're all in that boat together. Thank you for coming back to the channel. Please like and subscribe. We'll do a video in the next few days. Bye, everybody.